you don't shake your game up enough, then it doesn't generate enough hype or excitement. If you change your game too much, you risk alienating the current audience. I think a lot of what people have said about like 40k and stuff, whilst it sounds very sensible and logical, the reality of the situation is that it hasn't gone the way people have said. 40k is bigger and more popular than it ever has been, and GW essentially rewrites the game every 3 years. Look at 9th edition and then look at 10th edition. They're not the same game. Data sheets are different. Stat lines are different. There's a whole slew of mechanics that exist in 10th edition that didn't exist in 9th edition even slightly. GW hard resets their games every 3 years, and everyone stamps their feet, gnashes their teeth, and says this is going to kill the game off, and then the game explodes and becomes more popular again. The reality of the situation is, if we look at Horus Heresy, is Heresy does have a very dedicated play group, but it has arguably a very stagnant audience. It's the same people playing it. It's the same groups playing it. And at the end of the day, SDS have been relatively reticent to make big changes to the game. I don't know a huge amount about Horus Heresy previous editions, but I generally understand that Heresy 1.0 was very much like old school Warhammer. Like, for example, the battle cannon was strength 8, AP -3, large blast template. And then when Heresy 2.0 came along, one of the biggest changes they made were like weapon rules and stuff, the way that plasma works with breaching, the way that battle cannons were significantly changed. They went from a big template to a small template. So it was still very much old Hammer, but they basically shook all the weapons up. But fundamentally, it was still very much old Hammer. So essentially, this game has been around since 2012, and despite what I know that fans of Heresy will be able to point to probably hundreds of examples of, but Mordian, they changed that. Yeah, but fundamentally, what they have been doing is going along tweaking things. Even if some of those tweaks seem quite big, they're still sticking to that fundamental foundation. So for 12 years, this game has remained relatively unchanged. The foundations, the bones of the game have been the same. And now it is changing. I think a 12-year run for one set of bones is pretty good. But it's a balancing act that SDS has to try and accommodate, because do they risk alienating the current community? I don't know. Maybe. I don't fucking know. But if we look at 40k as an example, they do a lot of big changes and the game goes from strength to strength. If we look at Old World, first edition is not Warhammer Fantasy. Think about that for a second. Old World is not Fantasy 9th edition. Not even close. It's Old World first edition. I can't fathom. I wouldn't want to go back and play old editions of Warhammer Fantasy. I love the give ground mechanic. I love the fall back in good order mechanic. Those are changes that they are big fucking changes to the game. I love the way they do magic in Old World. I really, really like Old World magic. I do not like I did not like Warhammer 8th edition, Warhammer Fantasy 8th edition magic at all. They made big, bold, beautiful changes to Fantasy with Old World. It has many unique mechanics that separate it from the old game. And you know what? They're big fucking improvements. Big, massive fucking improvements. Look at bot action. Let's go out of the GW sphere for a moment. Bolt Action. I think Bolt Action 2nd edition was around for like 11 years. 1st edition, I don't know how. When was Bolt Action released? When was Bolt Action 1st edition released? Bolt Action 1st edition was released in 2012. 2nd edition was published in 2016, but was basically just a tweak of 1st edition. So essentially, this game was nearly it was so to give you an idea, it was so unchanged that most armies were using their 1st edition Bolt Action army books all the way through 2nd edition. Like they didn't release an Armies of the US 2nd edition. They didn't release one, or one for the Japanese either. It was just that's how few changes were made between 1st and 2nd edition. They just tweaked it. And so for 13 years, basically, Bolt Action, 12, about 12 years, Bolt Action continued with the same rule set. And it was good, but the game was stagnating. And guess what? Warlord Games releases Bolt Action 3rd edition. They introduce things like cover saves. They quite significantly change up the game. They remove tons of the hit modifiers. They add in things like cover saves. It's a big shakeup. It's the equivalent of the shakeup from Fantasy to Old World. I suspect it's the equivalent of the shakeup from Heresy 2.0 to Heresy 3.0. And you know what? The game is fucking amazing. Bolt Action. I play Bolt Action since 1st edition. Only a little bit of 1st edition, but a lot of 2nd edition. And I think 3rd edition is the best edition by fucking miles. And you know what? There are a lot of old grognards who played 1st edition that are like, oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. They don't like it because they're not rolling with the changes. They're sat there. They're like, I don't want to change. It's like, well, there's a reason you're not having fun with the new edition. Just, come out the bubble for a second. Lower the defenses for a moment. Not all the changes that we're playing here are bad, but you're just too fucking stubborn and too fucking closed-minded to just be like, to give it a fair go. You're wanting it to fail. You're wanting it to be bad, so you're not enjoying yourself. You're not allowing yourself to enjoy. Sometimes it feels like people actively want to be miserable, especially tabletop wargamers. And so I think the advantage that Old World had over Bolt Action, Old World 1.0 versus Bolt Action 3.0, is that Fantasy fucking died. Like, it fucking died. There wasn't this continuous shift from, one edition to the next. There was just bang, it's gone. And so everyone had a break for basically like 7-8 years. And everyone, very few people kept playing the game. There's a few people that did, but very few people kept playing the game. And so when Old World 1.0 came out, we'd had this break, we'd had this palate cleanser, we'd had this step away from it, and we came back. And, there were a lot of people that shat on Old World when it first came out and went, oh, it's dead on arrival. Oh, it's not like good old fantasy. And you know what? All those people got proven fucking wrong. All those people got proven fucking wrong. And I think with Bolt Action, and this does come back to Heresy in a moment, I think with Bolt Action, because everyone got so used to playing a 2nd edition, when 3rd edition came along, even though 3rd edition is a massive improvement, massive improvement. Yeah, there's a few quality control issues, but it passes the fucking vibe check, boys. Warlord has been smashing it with 3rd edition. I've never seen a company stack up so many fucking wins in like a year. It's been insane. Like, my wrist is getting tired from wanking off Warlords so much. Every release, they fucking smash it, boys. And these people that bitch and moan and whine, they sound stupider and stupider as every day goes past. Oh, Bolt Action 3rd edition. You just sound like a fucking moron. You do. Like, you might think you're right, but you sound like a fucking moron because you're telling everyone that the game is shit. And everyone who's going and trying the game, not everyone, the majority of people that are going and trying the game are enjoying it. And are going, these changes are actually for the better. You sound like a fucking moron. And do you know what? I bet the same thing's going to happen with Horus Heresy. Could be wrong. Someone clip this. You know, maybe when Horus Heresy 3.0 drops, maybe it turns out to be a giant fucking bag of shit. But you know what? I'm willing to bet that you're going to have Doomsayer after Doomsayer after Doomsayer. You're going to have all these people who want to put content out being like, Horus Heresy is dead on arrival. You know what? I've heard it all fucking before. I heard it with Bolt Action 3rd edition. I heard it with Old World fucking 1st edition. And you know what? You were wrong then. You were wrong again. And you know what? I bet you're going to be wrong about Horus Heresy 3.0. I bet you're going to be wrong about it. I think Horus Heresy 3.0 is going to be good. I'm fucking hyped for it. It sounds to me, as someone who's been through this a couple of times already, it sounds to me like an Old World. It sounds to me like a Bolt Action 3rd edition. I think it's good. I think it's going to be good. But all of this is just like my opinion, man. All this is like opinion, man. And it is kind of like my opinion, but also at the same time, if we look back at the evidence, like I said, people time every single... I used to do it, by the way. I used to sound like a fucking moron. Okay? I used to be one of these people that's like, GW's killing 40k. GW's killing this, killing that. I know better now. I've been in this fucking game long enough that I'm like, GW isn't fucking stupid. If you shit on GW... So a lot of what they do at first is fucking annoying, but somehow it keeps fucking working. Yeah. Everyone thinks GW is fucking stupid. I don't think they're stupid at all. Sometimes something can sound so damn common sense and sound so damn logical, but do you know what it is? It's like the difference between Math Hammer and the tabletop. You can make something look really, really good or really, really right on Math Hammer, but it hits tabletop, bag of shit doesn't stand up. You can do the same thing. It's the same thing. Old World, Dead on Arrival, successful. Black 3rd edition, Dead on Arrival, successful. 40k 10th edition, looks like a bag of shit. People won't like fixed points, all this kind of stuff. Biggest, best edition that they've ever had. We had 1,400 people at tournaments this weekend. There wasn't even a super major going on. No LVO, no LGT, madness. People keep saying that this shit is bad, but it ends up being quite good. I guess it's the age-old situation, isn't it? It's the loud minority versus the silent majority. And rarely do those two things agree on the same thing. Rarely do those two groups agree on the same thing. We've got a few super chats and stuff coming in here. Let's get our wrists ready to wank some people off. Would you like to know more? If so, then please consider becoming a channel member or patron. By supporting the channel, not only will you be doing your part, but you'll also be helping me create more content for your viewing pleasure and unlocking a whole host of perks. You get everything from a badge next to your name, custom emojis, but the big one is access to the Mordian Glory Discord server, an online community with almost 2,500 active members. It's always popping off in the MG Discord. We've got channels for army lists, hobbying, tactics, stories, and even a pretty spicy meme section as well. For all you greenhorns that wanted to see the Mordian glory hole, today is your lucky day. And joking aside, I do want to say a massive thank you to all of the current channel members and patrons. You guys are amazing. Truly the lifeblood of the channel. I could not do Mordian Glory full time without the incredible and generous support of my members. So thank you guys so much. And last but certainly not least, I want to say a personal thank you to all of my top tier Patreons. These are the War Masters, the people who have truly gone above and beyond the call of duty. So a heartfelt thank you to Alex Dengal, Bonbon Vert, Lord Pryor, Mark Panconi, RJ Scorpion, Swordfish Trombone, Try Again Bragg, John Stubbs, Nick Walsh, Diesel Fox, and August Barney. Seriously guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support is incredible and it makes a huge difference. Thank you so much. That's all for now. Hope you've all enjoyed today's video, and of course, as always, see you guys next time.